Welcome to She's Black,
where we keep it real, raw, and relentless
about all things Black women. Welcome to She's Black,
where we keep it real, raw, and relentless about all things Black women.
All right, y'all know me. I'm Kibet.
I'm Tashi.
I'm India.
All right. So our episode obviously is a little bit different today because Tashi is joining us on the actual podcast. She will still be hosting the Deeper Dive Lives, but she's going to be in the conversation with us today. So again, thank y'all for tuning in. We're so excited that y'all continue to join us and hopefully become part of our tribe. Remember, if you are watching us on YouTube, go ahead and subscribe if you have not. Make sure you like, share, hit the notifications bell so that you get all the reminders so you don't miss an episode. Remember, you can follow us on Facebook at The She's Black Show, Instagram at The She's Black Show, and on our website at www.theshe'sblackshow.com. Also, if you are listening to us on your favorite podcast station, it is Just She's Black. Check us out at Just She's Black on your favorite podcast station. That is iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google, you name it. Wherever you like to hear your podcast, we will be there. All right, y'all. I am super excited about today's topic because I feel like as women, this is something that can really level us up and, kind of just get us over some humps that we've kind of built up and been set in for a while. So the topic for today is the power of collaboration. So what we're going to be dealing with is, how collaborating amongst Black women, whether it's in business or organizing for community activism or just for building up ourselves for self-love and sister circles and things like that, how collaborating to get those things done actually gives us motivation, momentum, and just the overall ability to achieve a lot more than when we don't collaborate. We're going to be talking about, in our recent past, why we didn't trust each other as much and why we didn't work together and where we think that may have come from. We'd love to hear what you have to say as well. So let's get started on this conversation, ladies. So I'm excited about this because in order for She's Black to happen, we had to pull 4 Black women together and collaborate on what we thought this would look like, what it means to us, and just really how to make it work and what part we're going to play in it. And if you knew all of us personally, we vibe, but we are all completely different individuals. We all have different things that we enjoy to do in our time. All for our time just amongst ourselves. We all treat ourselves to self-love in a different way. We all have had different journeys in life, but we're able to either bring all that to the table and make something special or put aside whatever does not work or that may prevent us from being able to create something special. So I think we're a really good example of the power of collaboration. So let's start off talking about the division of Black women in recent history, why we were not all together from our perspectives, because none of us are experts on this, but I do want to know, have you all in your lives either heard from our mothers or other women or experienced personally not being able to work alongside other, particularly Black women, but other women, period, and why or how or what did you hear? What was that experience like for you? So either one of you can go first if you had that experience at all or heard anything about it.
I don't know. When it comes to that, I kind of feel like you have to find what you call your tribe when it comes to women. Because let's say raising a kid. I used to see on Facebook so much before I had this last baby. I used to see so many women put it up on Facebook. They'd be like, once you get pregnant, you really see who your friends are. They'd be saying it in a negative way, nobody's there for them, But when I got pregnant, my experience was totally different. People I didn't even know supported me. Everybody came out the woodwork and supported me, and there was a lot of, great people. So I feel like I found my tribe, and even though my baby's little, she don't really know nobody, but it's a lot of people who really care about her, and she's just a kid. And I just feel sorry that some of those women haven't experienced finding them. And a lot of those women are younger. You know,
Yeah.
they're in their 20s, so they got a lot to experience. And like when I was in my early 20s, I didn't have like a whole tribe of friends, you know. So I think you really got to find your tribe. And as you meet people and go along through different experiences, the good people stay.
Yeah.
And the people that don't really want to stay, they kind of drift off. You already
Yeah.
move away from them.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
absolutely, absolutely. I've definitely been fortunate and grateful to have people around me that love me, especially women, which is mostly in my family. Girl, we have women, and you know, so I have had that support throughout my life, and now with you guys as well. But there have been times where it's like, first of all, we already have that stigma of like, oh, women are catty. How do you guys get along?
Right.
How da 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 da. It's always this thing about women, you know, working together, being together, actually being like real
I don't
friends.
think that's all women.
But that's not all women. But we do have that, you know. However, I have been in situations like that though, where there was a catty situation, and I'm like, why? We're on
Yeah.
the same team. Like, there's no need. Let's, you know. So.
For me, I heard it growing up, and you know, y'all have seen in past episodes, I was kind of like the weird chick that was kind of an outsider anyway. So as far as like building relationships or learning who to trust or how to trust people, that didn't really exist for me because I was already kind of the weird girl that didn't have a lot of friends. However, my first like really understanding of the idea that women were divided, particularly black women, was in the military, my military experience. And hindsight is 2020, of course. At the time, I bought into, wow, women really don't support each other, and we really don't get along or work well together.
In the
Because
military?
in the military, it was okay. So other story, and it's someone that I grew close to over time, but initially just rubbed me completely the wrong way. So when at my first duty station, my first assignment, I had my, I guess she was my section leader, but she was she was a sergeant first class at the time. And so for you military people, y'all know what that is, but she was a good bit ranked up on me. Like I was a private when I came in, or PFC, a private first class, and she was which is an E3. And she was a sergeant first class, which is an E7. So there's a big gap. But she was hell on wheels. And I began to realize it was particularly to women, and even more particularly to black women. And she was a black woman. And I was confused by it, but I didn't dare ask her or say anything to her. You know, I was probably 18. Yeah, I was 18 years old. So, and she was, I mean, to me, she seemed 40-ish then, but she may have been 39, 38, 37. I don't know, but I wouldn't put her in the 30s.
Do you think it was an age thing?
40. So what I found, it wasn't at all. I didn't know what it was at the time. I just thought like what I'd heard about black women like holding each other back and not supporting each other, or like hating on each other. I thought it was just like, oh, now that I'm an adult and I'm in the adult world, I'm experiencing it really for the first time. But what I found out later was when she warmed up to me a bit and realized like her tactic for being so hard on me was actually having the opposite effect of what she thought it would have. She became honest with me, and she told me that she came into the military when the military was predominantly men. And so women had to be tough and unrelenting, and that softness that we naturally have that I think could bring us together, you had to like put that aside to make it, right? And so what I thought was her beating me down was her way of building me
trying to make
up.
you step up.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
I've
so
heard of that before.
what I realized in that moment was what in my mind, I interpreted it as this woman not supporting me as a young black woman and holding me back or having some kind of vendetta against me, was actually, from her perspective, her way of like helping me. But we came into the military. She'd been into the military at this point well over retirement. You only have to be in for 20 years to retire.
Yeah.
She was beyond that point. I ain't even been in a whole year. Well, yes, I was. It was a year. But out of training, I'd only been there for a couple of weeks. So we came into two different militaries. And so what she carried with her, that perspective of being tough, not taking, having sympathy or mercy on anybody because kindness looks like weakness.
Yeah.
She gave that to me, and I came in a different space of like, we all got to work together because it was a shift that was going on. But that didn't just play out in the military. That was a reality that women like her were women who fought for like women's rights and you know what I'm saying, like had to like man up just to be able to be respected in the workforce period, not just military but the workforce period. So I began to like look back at it and say, what's the idea that women couldn't accomplish anything as a collective, something that women created? Or is there a possibility that in a quote unquote patriarchal society that this idea was implanted and we bought into it? I don't know. I'm just dropping that off there because that was the thought. That was the thought. But I've definitely experienced like having a hard time working with other women, particularly other Black women. She was not the only situation. She was just the only one that came full circle. I've had other women that we stopped dealing with each other and haven't said a word to each other since because we just couldn't find the balance. We couldn't find a way to work together to make it happen. And then I've had people who like, we may have started off having issues, but we figured it out. We toughed through it. We talked about it. We had tough conversations and something great came out of it. So I've dealt with both sides of it. But I did hear my, I would say elders, older women in my life, let's say, don't have a whole lot of women friends around. You can't trust all the women around you. Don't tell women all your business. Don't go depend on a woman to help you through nothing. I've had a lot of hearing that. And so you isolate yourself because, say, I'm having an issue with my husband. By that theory, I'm not supposed to tell y'all. Because y'all might be looking like, ooh, something wrong with that relationship. Let me creep in, Y'all wait on my husband or something. Like, I don't know where that came from, but that was kind of how they implanted stuff. Like, you can't trust nobody about your stuff. And while that may be true, there may be some people who waiting on your life to be messed up.
I think we're slowly coming out of it. Because I know, like, it's weird. In my hometown, I noticed, not talking bad about nobody, but I noticed, like, in my hometown, a lot of people, like a lot of relatives, when they get together, the conversation really consists of them gossiping about people's business. But I noticed in Albany, like, it's still a bunch of people like that too in Albany, but I noticed up here, like, when I'm around, like, my friends, we might say something here and there, but the conversation does not consist of talking about somebody. We'll be like, oh, so-and-so about a house. Like, oh my God, really? I'm so excited for her. Like,
been a shift.
Like, like, the conversation is different. Like, we try more to build each other up, where, like, places where, like, how you're married, and it's a lot of us who aren't married. It's like a lot of us step in for each other in places where husbands would have, I feel like there is a shift. Seems like there are a lot of people getting closer than what it used to be. Because, like, growing up, like how you said, it was like, don't tell nobody what happened in my house.
Especially not other women, though, because for some reason, it was always like we were being, like, pinned against each other, or like we're competing against each other, or oh, she's this, or she got the bigger butt, or she got this, or her hair is this, or she's she's lighter, she's darker, it was always something with women. I'm like, dude, and I love my sisters and stuff like that, but I feel like at some point growing up, there was a little bit of that catty stuff too, but we didn't even know what was going on. At one point, we just hated each other,
for no reason,
and now we're close as heck.
I don't know I remember I had this friend. I cannot remember people's names. So if you know I'm talking about you and I don't remember your name, don't be mad at me. There's a whole bunch of people's names I don't remember. Oh, I remember her nickname. It's her nickname. It's not her. Oh, I think I remember her real name, but I'm not gonna say her government. But I had a friend in the military. Her name was Cookie. That was her nickname, right?
Cookie.
And so, okay, when I was in the military, y'all, I was bad. I was bad. I was bad.
She used to jog every morning. I wish I had that stuff.
I was bad. I'm gonna tell my husband, insert here. Joking, I ain't gonna tell him to insert
right here.
But anyway, I was bad. But so was almost every other woman except the ones who were supposed to be retired already. All the other women, for the most part, were bad. It's just part of being in the military. You got to work out all the time. So anyway, I had this friend named Cookie. But when I say bad, I mean we nature made us bad.
Fine.
So yes, we were just fine.
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
Fine.
there's a
Fine.
workout bad and there's a
Homegrown.
So when I was in the military, like Cookie, me and her were like the same height. She might have been a little bit taller than me, right? And I had boobs now. I used to be flat chested. I used to be when I got into a B cup, it was a milestone. I was excited. So I used to be a little flat chested girl.
Like that. You got
But
boobs.
I had my butt was perfect. It was like somebody just boom placed it there.
I seen some of those pictures.
It was perfect. You couldn't tell me nothing.
They bounced a quarter off.
And then I had like a little small waist. I had washboard abs. You couldn't tell me I wasn't the baddest thing on earth, right? And my homegirl Cookie, right? She ain't had the biggest butt. She it wasn't bad, but she didn't really have a butt. But Cookie had all the breasts, right? So what we used to do, so weird, we would go shopping together and we get matching outfits in different colors and just walk around. Cause this is childish, but this was real, right? We used to walk around. We'd be like, it don't matter which one of us they looking at. They seeing something. Either you got the boobs or you got the butt. We never competed.
Right.
We never looked like,
Right.
I wish I had your boobs or
Yeah.
I wish I had your butt. We was like, well, let's just go everywhere together. That way they got boobs and butt.
Yeah, exactly.
Really?
So childish and petty. And, y'all know my husband be editing these. So I know he be learning a whole bunch of stuff that he don't know about me because I've never shared that with him. But
how it should
petty.
be. That's how it
petty,
should be.
childish. But you know what? I was 18, like I'm living my best life.
Yeah.
But we used to that was our way of celebrating each other and not ever, the moment she felt insecure about her butt, baby, you good right here.
Right.
The moment I felt insecure about here, you know what I'm saying? It was an 18-year-old's way of complimenting, lifting each other up and supporting each other. And so I didn't have a lot of friends like that. But that was like a real experience in which like we just balanced each other out. It was never competing. But with that being said, like I said, it had been implanted in me that you just don't work well amongst other women. Yeah. And so what I mentioned earlier about like I kind of hinted at that feminism, and I think we talked about this in a previous episode. Was it last episode where we talked about gender roles? And when we talked about gender roles,
The last episode.
yeah, the most recent episode, episode 5, we were talking about gender roles, and we talked about the feminist movement. And so one thing I wondered was, out of the resurgence, I'll say, of the feminist movement, because there was a original kind of feminist movement, and then there was this space in the middle that kind of, we weren't collected, we were divided. And then there's this new feminist movement that in my mind has come out of a couple of things. It's come out of Black Girls Rock. It's also come out of the Me Too movement. All of those things have brought women back into a space of being more collaborative.
Yeah.
So I wonder what, if any, and y'all know I said, I don't really believe in feminism in that way because I believe in the balance of things. But I do wonder, if the feminist movement has any impact on us being able to come together and collaborate. So, like, Black Girls Rock is a national way of being.
I think so, because it raised more like attention, and a lot of us were basically on the same page. We're all women,
Right.
so when you see that, you're like, exactly. It kind of encourages you. Yeah, let me support. And I do see a lot of that, like you said. It is shifting. So I do think those platforms or those different campaigns or whatever, I do think it did help us in this process of like, it's okay to support each other. We don't have to be in competition, or we don't have to fight each other or be catty. That is not our natural being anyways,
You know what?
Right.
A lot of times it be people you don't even know. You know this on social media. It be somebody you don't know, or some people that don't even know you, and you just be hyping them up in the comments. You be like, "Slay!"
Yes, yes. Even in public or whatever, you
For
see
real.
someone going, like, yes, I'm guilty for that.
I know, right? I
I'm
tell the
guilty.
girl, clip like, "Oh, you're so pretty."
Yes.
I like your hair. I like this. Like, I'm like, they probably think I'm weird.
And it's so weird that we think
I ain't
that.
trying to holler at
because
your friend.
I used to think that people would think I was weird when I complimented them. But what I've found is that they really don't. I think they're really like, I think they walk away with like, for me, if a woman see me in public and be like, "You so pretty," or "You so beautiful," or "I love your hair," a man can say all day long, "Girl, you fine," "Girl, you pretty."
Right.
It's
It don't really
different when a
different
woman
as
says it.
much.
It's
Like
totally
a random
Different.
woman just complimented
Yes.
me.
Yeah.
She know what she looking at because she
Yeah.
look in the mirror at a woman every day.
Exactly.
So this compliment is real.
Girl, do you remember Jason used to say, women don't get dressed for us, women get dressed so they can go out and tell each other they're cute. I don't know if you remember Jason used to
Yeah.
say that we get dressed for each other. I'm like, kind of right.
We get dressed for ourselves.
I was actually
However,
no dress for me.
You don't notice this beat. You don't know how I did the edges. You don't know how
You don't-
slick
you
they
don't-
are.
Yeah.
Right. You been did a lot of work and
Yeah.
the man just be like, "Oh, you look good."
Oh, you sexy.
But I look, but
Dude.
is it the same good I looked yesterday when I ain't had nothing? Like, what's is
Yeah.
it different?
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Did you notice anything?
Yeah.
But I think men do more these days. However,
These days.
it does mean something else coming from a woman.
It does.
Because
Yeah.
whether we say it or not, we look at. I'm telling you, if you with your man and you see a fine woman pass, you know he
I
looking.
probably saw her
You
first.
know he looking
Exactly.
before he ever looked
Yeah.
because you spotted her first.
Yes.
You already see.
You already seen her.
You
Like,
finna look at that. And if you mad, you wrong because you looked at her.
Because you looked at her.
You knew
right.
she was beautiful,
You're
and it's
right.
like art. It's like that is a walking piece of art, and
That's how I feel about women. I
you
feel
know,
like-
now if he just be like, "Oh, this," like,
I
Fantasizing.
said you supposed to look, but not let me know you look.
No, we can look together. I feel like we can look together.
I feel like now my husband
Don't
is not gonna
compliment.
believe
Be
I
like,
said it. But I don't mind. I don't mind. He can't compliment. Like
don't compliment.
he can say
It's
something.
like,
He can be like, "She's beautiful, huh?" Or "I like what she has on," and we can share that compliment.
Yeah.
You know,
comfortable yet.
but what you can't do.
Fantasizing. You remember that?
Yeah,
girl?
or if I ain't leveled up, and what I mean by that is like we collectively ain't leveled up. Like she got on something regal, and I'm broke because we ain't leveled up, and I can't have something regal.
okay.
Don't
I get
point
it.
out what she got on this regal. Because we can't afford it. So now I'm
Right.
sitting here wondering if you'd rather be with old Regal girl from Kroger or me, you know. But yeah, so that is its own little space.
Okay.
Girl, yeah, I compliment a woman. I don't know. I think we're beautiful pieces of art, and I can't
Right.
help it.
Right.
I can't help myself.
Right.
You know.
So y'all, also, I think part of this new cycle or wave that we're in with supporting each other, you've seen, or I've witnessed a lot of like sister circles and like, you know, sacred sister circles, and you know, that's less dealing with like the outside, like we were talking about, like big up in each other's bodies and stuff, but these circles are about like uplifting each other's spirit and respecting each other's soul and honoring each other's, you know, feminine energy. So, you know, for me, I will say in the last 10 years, maybe less, that has been more of a thing. What do y'all think? Have y'all noticed that, like, a trend? Or now I don't want to say a
Yeah.
trend like it's going to end, but like,
Yeah.
you
It's
know,
definitely
moving,
here to stay,
there's
but
momentum.
I've definitely
Yeah, I can see
experienced
that
a lot
too.
of that too. A lot of retreats, a lot of all kinds of things are
Right.
happening. We're like, it's much deeper than the outer, like it's the surface. We're like really tapping into our spirituality, but I'm realizing, I feel like we're all realizing like we're in this together, and we're much more powerful. You know, uplifting each other spiritually and our feminine.
I think it cuts down the competition because when you put aside all the physical stuff, all the outside layers, you know, all the who got better skin or who got, you know, nicer hair, who got a bigger butt, you put all of that aside, like, and you really start dealing with the internal self, you'll find that there's like insecurities or
Right.
issues that we deal with that I might look at India and be like, India fine as hell, I know she don't have these problems. And then you get in a circle and you be like,
Got the same
I can
problem.
relate. That you know,
how?
problem.
And you're looking like, and then so it takes all the superficiality away.
Yeah.
And you really have to start to like respect each other's energy.
Yeah.
And figure out where that's coming from in an energetic, spiritual space, not just a physical composition,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
And I think that lens allows us to see each other completely differently. I think it builds on trust.
I think when we focus on like the outer stuff and the things that we've been conditioned to talk about or to care about, I think just allows us to cover that stuff up. What we're really holding on the inside.
Right.
That's why we're putting so much, energy into. Oh, I'm married. I'm this. I'm that. And it's like, but what's really going on?
Right.
Right. You still dirty on the inside.
still-
Those are kind of just signs you just hold up, like, but behind. You ever seen that little thing on Facebook? It'll hold up the smiling face, but behind it, like, he's crying.
Yeah.
You seen that on Facebook?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, those are the things, I guess, for just the world to see, but behind it, it's like, it's totally different.
I definitely think that's a universal thing, though. We all have things that we're dealing with on the inside. But like we said, now we're understanding that because people are sharing their stories. They're sharing their true, raw selves. And we realize, dang, we actually we have a lot in common.
And I think it builds up a certain level of trust amongst each other, especially as women.
Right.
Because you reveal so much of yourself. Like, it's one thing for you to see me and see, like, oh, because I don't wear certain kind of clothes, or because you don't see me having on a different outfit every time. Maybe I don't have much money, or because my hair ain't done.
Yeah.
Whatever. It's easy to judge me on that, right?
Yeah.
But it's a whole nother thing when you sit in a circle with me and I can tell you my flaws that you don't have privy to. Like, you cannot see it. You can't smell it. You can't touch it. It is literally something that is inside of me, and I am trusting you enough to reveal it to you. But the integrity that we build amongst each other when we know we can, when I know that I can share this and that this space is sacred not because it's physically a sacred space, but because we made it a sacred space.
Right.
And I think that breaks down so many walls, and it allows us to really, like, move past the judgmental thing. That's when you see your sister and you might have the flyest hairstyles anywhere, anytime, right? But versus, like, judging other women on their hair, you might be like, girl, you want to go to the stylist with me? Or if you style your own hair, you know what I'm saying? I want to try a new style. You want to let me try it on you?
Yeah.
Blah, blah. You know what I'm saying? But you're now taking what is good about you and you are imparting that upon them instead of judging them or separating yourself as better than them because of it.
Yeah.
That's because the inside person, because inside, there's no differences. You can't color that up.
No.
You can't fake it up. You can't dress it up. You can't perfume it up.
No.
It is what it is.
It is what it is.
And so, like, there's real healing that you have to do. And I think, sacred circles and feminine circles, which are like, and it's like the most powerful thing ever because we walk away from those moments fully empowered and charged up in a way that we couldn't get from anywhere else.
Exactly.
So I definitely think that's a big part of us being able to collaborate.
I'm sorry to cut you.
You're fine.
Like before, like we were saying earlier, I wouldn't really express myself or tell my friends or women that what I'm really dealing with or whatever, because it's not because of the judgments. It's just like I didn't feel comfortable to do so, right? And it's just I felt like I didn't need to, or how are they gonna help me? But now it's like I want to talk to my friends. I want to call Jabril. I want to call my sisters. I want to call Alex. Like, I want to talk to them, and I need them. I realize like I need that energy that it's different.
I still kind of struggle with that a little bit. Like, I just, like, a lot of times I tell my friends what's going on after the fact. Because, like, when it happens, it's like I'm kind of embarrassed. But it's crazy because they may be going through something way worse or going through the same thing. But it's like, it's like I don't want to be embarrassed, kind of.
Well, I mean,
To kind of tell them kind of what I'm going through sometimes. Like, I'll tell them, but it's like, you have to be a while sometimes.
I get that, but maybe that means you haven't really broken through that, or having a safe, sacred space where you don't feel embarrassed, or these people are not going to judge you for that.
I think it's because I know I should be doing better in certain situations. So it's like I'm judging myself before they do, and I'm kind of embarrassed to tell them because it's like, you ain't supposed to be doing that. You ain't supposed to be doing that.
You should look at it differently, though.
Yeah.
There's a way that you could look at it that would make you fully comfortable. Like, me and Tashi, we have a lot of conversations, and some of our conversations, it might be something about me and my husband. It might be something about me at work. And I'll tell her, I'll be like, girl, yeah, I did this. I know I was wrong, but it's what I did.
Yeah. And vice versa.
And she, like, we laugh, but at the end of the day, what it does is, because those friends that you're withholding from are probably also withholding.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Right, yeah.
Because if they're not withholding in general, they may be withholding from you. Because I can tell you personally, you can sense it. You can tell when someone is like, you know what I'm saying, putting themselves together before they present themselves.
Exactly.
Versus someone who's just coming out like, it's who I am.
Yeah.
You know, so when you release and you're comfortable like sharing your what you consider to be a flaw, because it's not really.
Not really.
But what, you know, your journey, when you're comfortable sharing your journey
The
holistically
good, bad,
with
the ugly,
someone,
the funky, the stank, the disgusting.
you teach them how to do the same thing.
Yes.
You're right. You're
And
right.
so don't look at it like, oh man, I know better. Look at it like, I had a human moment.
Yeah.
That is a good way to look at that.
You know, we are spiritual beings having a human experience
Exactly.
every day.
You're right about that.
And
Every
so
day.
you just gotta look at it like that, and then for us that are receiving it, not be so quick to be like, now you know better.
Exactly.
Like me and Tashi will laugh at each other. Tashi be like, girl, you didn't. You did, for real. That what you did.
Yeah.
But it's never like, why would you do that? It's just like, hey, sometimes it be like that. Sometimes
that
we,
sometimes.
you know what I'm saying? And so, I mean, it'd be wild.
But I do call you out.
Yes, you would call each other out.
We
but
call
it
each other out,
It
though.
is, it's never like a
Judgment
condemnation.
or like,
And
yeah.
I think also
Yeah.
I kind of don't be want to disappoint them because you know like your friends might see you build yourself up in this area and then like you slip and it's like
But we're
my
humans,
friends
we make
know how to
that-
slip.
But the reality of not slipping, for me, if a person says, I'm gonna go to this level, I'm gonna go to level 8, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 8. And they stop at 8. I don't trust that 8. Because I'm gonna need you to go 1, 2, 3, 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2. You
Yeah,
know?
exactly.
Because I need to know you had the fortitude to be like, dang, I keep slipping, but I got back
Exactly.
up. Because if you just smooth made it to 8, I'm side eyeing you for real. Like, the
I'm
whole
like,
time,
What you ain't saying?
like she ain't made it no 8. Somebody is holding that girl up. You know what I'm saying?
Now
Somebody
you want to
done-
go straight to 8.
Somebody that carry her over
you
the
been going
8.
back to 2. All this time now you straight to 8.
Right,
What's
like
up?
that ain't even
What you
real.
up to?
So like, you know, the realism of, because like success, even in your, all of us have a business.
Mm-hmm.
All of us, every one of us know. I know more than anybody because like Peach Neck done been put on and sat down and put on and sat down so many times because life happens, right? And you learn from it. I'm learning the ultimate lesson now. I can't reveal it
Same with
because
you.
I'll jeopardize some of my livelihood. So I'm not gonna say that right now. But I've learned a big lesson as to, you know, what keeps holding my business back from growing. And I'm moving forward having learned that lesson. But with that being said, it is one day it's gonna be huge and people gonna be like, oh, I remember when she started, and I remember I was like, man, what happened to it? And I remember, but she kept going.
Yes.
Right.
And so those hurdles, those parts where you just didn't have it together, they strengthen you. And in every one of our businesses, success is not a straight line.
No.
It looks like hills and mountains.
Girl, yes.
And
Yeah, you do learn that because a lot of times you see, you know, you'll see the highlights of what somebody else had, and it'll seem like they went from pum just to the top,
It don't
just
happen
like that,
overnight.
and it's like, why is mine taking longer
Yeah.
to get there? You know,
Yeah.
so
But that's another thing, though. I don't never compare myself to other people's journey.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you have to be confident in your own journey because I do understand what you're saying. Like, Dream Keys, I started this in 2017, but I have other streams of income as well, and I have other things happening in my life, and so much is happening, and it's like, in the background, I'm like, man, you know,
You really want to take it somewhere, but you can't do everything. And that's Superwoman.
I'm
Yeah.
not, well,
Yeah.
sometimes, okay.
But I mean, ultimately, life. We could think because I haven't thought like, I'm
It's
Superwoman.
hilarious.
Life be like, wow,
No, you're not.
sit behind down, right? Sit down real quick.
So I do feel you on that for sure. And I'm like, I did get a quick, I'm like, dang, man, people are probably like, where's Dream Keys?
And they
Look at
lose
that.
confidence in it. But you know what? You just learn like your supporters are always there. And the realest thing you can do is be real.
And that's what I do.
Like
I'm
be
real with it about
honest.
it.
Say, hey y'all, I had to sit down for a while. Life is what it is. I couldn't just keep running myself ragged trying to push something. But with that being said, we're kind of wrapping it up a little bit. I do want to talk about the impact of sisterly support. So, like I said, we've kind of got into it dealing with our businesses, right? I have a business, Peach Nectar. She has a business, Dream Keys. She has a business, Wax the Cat. And all of us have dealt with like trying to start up our business and maybe expecting support from one place and not getting it there and getting it somewhere else, or not expecting it and getting an overload of love, you know, and it impacts your business differently. So You want to start out talking a little bit about
Yeah,
how
I
you're
pretty
supporting?
much, like how you said earlier, I've pretty much waxed about every friend I got. That's why when you came, when it was last week, and got your wax, I was like, girl, come on, it ain't gonna be nothing. I done waxed about everybody. I think it's only maybe like 2 or 3 I haven't. So I've got a lot of, support when it comes to that. But then, like you said, it is an intimate experience. So they know since we're friends, we're gonna laugh through it. I'm gonna make it a little bit more easier for you. So I pretty much got support from, the people around me when it comes to mine.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I definitely have support from friends and close family, but most of my support definitely came from strangers. Like, I mean, all the way to freaking New Zealand and things
What
like that.
exactly is Dream Keys?
Oh, okay. Well, thank you for asking. Well, Dream Keys is basically I make conscious handmade jewelry using
cool.
different, different mixed metals. I love crystals
That's
and
real
other
big
different
right now.
things that symbolizes dreams and self-empowerment and self-love and jewelry. I make wonderful jewelry. But most of it, like you were saying earlier, definitely strangers.
Yeah.
A lot of my support comes from.
I think when I started off with Peach Nectar, I had a lot of work support, like co-workers that kind of, in the beginning were like, okay, let's do this. But my biggest support came from strangers as well. Especially my second time around launching it. My second time around, I went to an event. It was like a mistletoe market. And I'd never probably sold in one setting, more than like $300 worth of Peach Nectar. And because Peach Nectar is body care products, $300 comes quick. But at this market, I think we sold like over double the amount. And we weren't expecting it. And it was super support, and all of those people were just calling back.
Yeah.
And we didn't know them from anybody, but they became like regular customers. We know what they want. We know, all kinds of things. They look for wherever we're going to be, and they would be there to support us. Meanwhile, the people that were closest to me, like, that you just feel like they just going to pop up. It's like sparingly, if, and I used to kind of look at it like, my people hating on me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did. But I'm starting to realize now, I don't necessarily think it's always a hating thing. I don't think it really has anything to do with our business. I think it may be a mirror or a something for them to reflect upon, that it may be a dream deferred that they have.
Yeah.
And so seeing someone so close to them that they can relate to, that's not that far removed from them, their circumstances, their life, it may be hard to kind of confront that. Like, if you keep showing up and supporting them, how are you feeling about what you could be doing that you're not?
Yeah.
Or are you judging yourself like, dang, like, how they do that and why I can't do it? And so it's just easier to like block it out
And not
judge
compare.
yourself.
Compare anyways. Like, we all have our own journey, and if you are feeling that, speak up, say something. That person may be
ask for some
willing to
advice. Say,
help
hey,
you.
me and you. Like, I remember you asked me certain questions about certain things that I was doing, which was able to kind of help you formulate your stuff. And so for me, like, just ask questions. Most of the time, people are more than willing to share.
Some people.
Yeah, some people.
Some people.
But I feel like when you on a journey, like you realize some hardships that if somebody told you, you would have loved it, because something so simple is so big when you are blind to it, or you're completely ignorant to it. And so I used to feel like, my close friends hated me and I didn't have that support. And sometimes it would make you like, it would throw your personal balance off. Like, you might keep pushing your business, but your personal balance be like, my friends even my friends? So then you stop hanging out with your friends and you start questioning their motives, all of that stuff, which ultimately impacts the love you're able to pour into your business.
Yeah.
And so I feel like,
I also think a lot of times,
I don't take it personally.
I think a lot of times also some friends don't take it as serious as you do. Because there's a lot of folks who start businesses and stop and drop them off. Because I know, like, with my wax people are like, are you still doing that? And I'd be like, yeah. Like, so many people, like,
your little business.
during that PPP phase, like, a lot of people started businesses and they just completely just stopped with it. Yeah. So some people don't take your business serious. They think it's just something you're just trying.
But I don't know. I look at it different. Like if my friends just
Well, not
pop
yours,
up
'cause you've been
and
doing
they
yours
try
for
a
years.
business, yeah. But if a friend of mine pops up and they just like, even if they are just trying it, right? I'm gonna give them a reason to not give up, because
Yeah.
if it's something I feel like, okay, like waxing, right? Yeah, I know. I'm a naturalist. I'm just gonna put it that way. That's a nice way to put it. By nature, I just go with the flow. But in the sense of anything waxing wise, you know, I'm trying to change myself since I'm having a little girl and be more. I don't know what you call it, but whatever it is that girly girls do, I'm trying to learn how to do that. But so if I'm not gonna go to another waxing service now, because
Yeah.
one of my closest friends waxes.
Yeah.
Unless she's just absolutely not available and says, I'm not doing it, I can't.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not gonna. I love all your business. I will support you. I will promote you. All of that, right? But my actual friend that I've known for years does this. So that's who's gonna do it.
Yeah, I know
me.
at my job, it was a lady that started selling body butters. And the fragrances that she had was the fragrances that you used when you first started. And I was like, when I smelled them, I was like, my homegirl started off with these. I was like, she got something way better. And she'll be like, you want something? I'll be like, no. I was like, my homegirl sells something that like smell way better than that. Like she started with this fragrance. It's like a starter fragrance, you know. So I get it.
And I definitely get that though. I try to support as many people as I can, especially my friends and family and just women. And even if it's you guys have a product or something that I don't need particular on my journey, I will definitely refer you to my friends. Like, okay, wax.
Right.
I got a wax lady too. I've been getting wax for years. It's like she knows me down there, you know. However, I'm comfortable with you as well. I don't mind, you know. But I just think just supporting.
Yeah,
Period.
I think it does so much, and being able to build those businesses and, you know, learn how to, like, because your customers for Dream Keys could be looking for skincare products, and then they bring my customers.
Right.
My customers could be like, oh, where you get them earrings from, and blah, 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 and they become your customers.
Exactly.
Or they could be like, oh, I want to, you know, my customers that getting facial products and getting scrubs and getting different things, exfoliants and stuff, might be like, man, I'm thinking about getting this done. I'll be like, oh, my friend does waxes, blah, blah, blah. She might have people who are doing waxes and like, I keep getting bumps or I keep getting whatever. And it might be like, oh, my homegirl sells scrubs. So, you see what I'm saying? Like, it's totally different businesses, but we could keep each other growing. And everybody, in a sense, you got a friend that provides a service or a product. You can collaborate and just make it happen. But with that being said, one more thing. Do y'all feel like we can be optimally successful without support from our sisters? Like optimally, not just successful, but like optimizing it without support.
From our sisters?
From not our, you know, blood sisters,
Right.
but from other women in our communities, in our circles.
If I can honestly, I don't think so. I mean, that's
I
hard.
don't know, because I'm thinking about the woman that like climbs the corporate ladder that's in a business with just men. You know, like she just makes her way up. But then a lot of times she didn't do it by herself because like maybe her mom was there. So.
But honestly, I'm thinking about the energy that we possess as women. Honestly, I don't see it happening for him.
Yeah, I don't think it's optimal.
I don't think it's going to be optimal.
I think there's a certain level of grinding that you'll have to do without support that could be negated if you had support.
Yeah.
And so I don't say that that's optimal, because I think the energy invested in that extra grind could have been invested in innovation, which levels you up versus just like, you know, grind is like, I'm going to keep going.
Yeah.
But optimizing is
Elevating.
building up.
Yeah.
And so I feel like sometimes we relieve each other. It might be something as simple as, girl, I'm here for you. And I might be like, hey, like when I still got to connect y'all, but I was like, hey, Asia's giving a brow wax and tint class. Would you like to take it? That levels up your business because you already wax brows, but if you can tint them too, you get what I'm saying? Like that's something that's beneficial for you. So I'm saying that to say like, and that's just, that's not like full on support. That's just thinking about my friend for a moment and say, this might be beneficial to her.
Right.
And so that levels up versus her continuing to wax and try to build up as many wax clients as she can. Then one day come across it way down the line when I've been seeing this class 2 years ago. I could have told her 2 years ago, why don't you take this class? You know? So I don't think it's optimal, but we can succeed. It's not optimal. All right, so some hot seat questions, y'all. First one. Have you ever failed to support another black woman when it was within your means? Not when you couldn't afford it, or you couldn't do it, or you couldn't get to it, or you didn't have the time. But when it was completely possible for you to support someone. Have you ever just been like, nah, or like negated to do it?
I think probably there was times where like friends like had businesses I probably could have tried a little harder, maybe to support or like buy stuff.
For me, I feel like I've supported my friends. Like I said, if it wasn't something that I could use, I would definitely. I feel like that's a form of support. If I'm referring you to someone that may use your product, promoting
and supporting.
Yeah, that's support. So I don't. Not that I can think of. If I did, let me know.
I feel like I have failed to support others when I was disappointed in myself and my business. And what I mean is, like, in the midst of my Peach Nectar journey, there have been like other sisters who, you know what I'm saying, they got, like, when I was at my best with Peach Nectar, I could see 10 sisters doing the same thing, right? And I'm a good 10 products for them 10 sisters. But when I was down and I was out and I wasn't really being able to be as productive or push my business, I may have shied away from supporting other women in the same energy. So yeah, definitely for me.
I can see that.
Okay.
I can see that for sure. For sure.
Done that for sure. So the next hot seat question: have you ever felt unsupported by black women, and if so, how do you navigate it?
Yes. So with Dream Keys, I found myself getting invited and just attending a lot of craft shows and festivals and things like that. And when it's, I have been like in a place where there were like different people, and it's crazy because a lot of times like the black women, they will look at me and they will look at my things, they would love my things, and but sometimes they wouldn't like buy anything. They would just give me like, I don't know. It was just certain things I would like peep, and I'm like, what was that about? It was just weird to me. I mean, like I said, I don't take it personal, but how I navigated through it, I just I don't really take it personal. However, when it's happening, I'm like,
you see it.
I see it, and I feel it, and it's so obvious too. So all right, well, thank you, and I keep it moving. Like I said, you never know what people are dealing with, but when I'm feeling it, like when it's happening, I'm just like, okay, whatever. Next,
I can't say. I think I pretty much have gotten support when it comes to black women. Pretty much.
I've gotten I ain't gonna say support. I don't know what you call it, right? But it's what I'll call it. I'll call it, my body butter's $10, but you want to talk my price down.
Yeah.
From black women. Or automatically, like, what's the deal? The deal is I put my love and my time into something. What you mean what the deal is? Like, you go in the Bath and Body Works and ask them?
It's like people code switch sometimes when it comes to your businesses. Like, if it's a Caucasian woman selling those same butters, they're not going to be like, oh, can I get it for $8? It's like a lot of times they'll just buy it. But it's like, for some reason,
the value goes down.
Yeah, like you're supposed to code switch, like, they kind of give me a discount.
Yeah.
Like, girl.
Or,
right.
Or like with jewelry, what I've learned, I'm like, I get the quality things like Goldfield, this or that. And they always ask me, oh, is it tarnished or is it plated or da-da-da? I'm like, it literally says field, gold field, sterling silver. I don't have to lie about that. Like, you can always check that. But I always get those questions. I'm like, bro, like, you ain't just hey.
Right.
Never mind. This ain't for you. Next. That's how I feel. They always ask me those questions like that.
But you know what I found, though? The longer you stay in your business, the less that happens.
Yeah.
And it's so weird because for me, I don't know. I will put something on top of something that I'm purchasing from another black woman or my friend before I take something away. Like, they can be offering me the deal. I'm not taking the deal. Your stuff is what it's worth. Your service is what it's worth. People be like, but no. We don't do that.
I started respecting that more when I got my own business. I started like in a lot of situations, I would like they'd be like, oh, you can get it for this. I would buy it regular price and still tip.
Yeah.
You know, it's like I started appreciating other people's businesses more once I got my own.
Same.
Right, because business is business.
Yeah.
It costs you to run your business.
Yes,
it
it
is.
does.
It is not free. There's an investment, and for me, like, if you looking for a deal, you're not looking for my success. You're looking for your benefit.
Exactly.
In which case, let me give you this wholesale distributor number, and you go buy you some raw shea butter
Right.
and scoop it out every time you want some
Exactly.
body butter.
Right.
And throw some of your perfume you got or something. I don't know what to tell you to do.
Yeah.
But don't come to me asking me to downplay my prices.
Because I got an obvious price sheet. And I
Yes.
remember I had a family member reach out and was like, how much would you charge for me? And so and so and so. And I'm thinking,
You probably add up to how many.
I was like, is this much for y'all to? And they didn't respond back. I guess I thought I was going to give them a discount. But it's like,
Right.
this product costs.
Exactly. You gotta think about my time, my efforts, the materials.
Right.
It's so much that goes into making a pair of earrings. You don't ask freaking Betsy
And
Johnson
they don't know.
and Michael
A lot of times
Kors.
we kind of be kind of lowballing the price because
Already.
Already
for
lowball.
real, we're not really making as big as a profit off it that we need because the supplies is expensive.
Exactly.
Mhm.
Exactly. But they're buying a lot of times are like brand, or they're buying names. And when I just doing my research or whatever with jewelry, I look at these people and like some people like top name jewelry designers and stuff. I'm like, dude, some of these people are using plated jewelry,
Right.
and I'm getting this higher quality, and you're paying $100 for these people. It
Because
literally
of the
tells you
name.
because of the name, literally in the description, it shows you gold plated.
Right.
I took extra money, extra time to get quality things.
And it costs you more because you don't have the purchasing
And
power that
Right.
large businesses
Right.
have.
Exactly.
So you cannot buy 10,000 feet of gold-filled wire.
Exactly.
You can't buy it. You don't have enough money, enough
Exactly.
resources to throw into that. So when you break it down and you buy 20 feet,
Yeah.
you done paid what somebody else could be paying for 2,000 feet.
Exactly.
Right.
You know, because you haven't leveled up to that yet, and people don't understand
They
that.
don't
Like,
understand
it
that.
costs me so much more to make this container body butter than what it costs for Bath and Body Works to do it in their warehouse with a gazillion chemicals and watered down and not even real shit.
Because I remember when they
put shea
started
butter, it's
selling
like
shea
a
butter, and I was
right,
like,
this is not shea butter.
Yeah.
I was
And
looking
so I'm saying to say like you really you want me to give you more for less, and who is that fair to? So yeah, I felt unsupported. But how I navigate it, baby, I get my support where I can get it from, and I have it built in for me because I want to educate women. I want to level women up. So I have certain things built in
Yeah.
that are about teaching them, and so sometimes I have some samples.
Yes.
You can get this sample.
Yeah.
Yeah, whole sample. I'm gonna teach you how to use it. I'm gonna make one way or the other. I'll make a customer out of you.
Right.
And I'm not talking about a discount customer. You gonna respect the game customer. But with that being said, y'all, so this brings our show to not an end, but we kind of wrapping it up. With that being said, thank you for joining us. Y'all remember, tell us what y'all want to hear. Tell us how you felt about the conversation. For those of you who are watching us on YouTube, make sure you like, share. Please, 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 please share. That is the biggest support that you can give to this show. We are, every week or so, we have jobs, we have families, we got babies, we got other babies on the way.
baby's on the way.
And we still keep trying to put out this content that I feel like could be very beneficial. But if people don't know about it, it's not doing any good. So if you see it and you like it, just share it. Share it to your social media page. If you haven't subscribed already, please subscribe to our channel. Hit the notifications bell so you don't miss an episode. Listen to us on your favorite podcast station at She's Black. So on YouTube, we are The She's Black Show. On Instagram, The She's Black Show. Facebook, The She's Black Show. Connect with us directly on our webpage at www.theshe'sblackshow.com. And then on all podcast stations, we're just She's Black. Thank y'all for tuning in. And our, next week, don't forget the Deeper Dive Live on
Yes.
Facebook with Tashi and Chazzy. They'll be digging a little deeper into this conversation. Y'all, for y'all that don't know, join the conversation. You can join it in chat. You can join it in video, however you choose to join it. But if you got any questions, comments, if you are a Black woman or a woman, period, who has a business, who has either had overwhelming support or not enough support, or you felt like you haven't had a circle of people there to support you, let us know. And you know, the more we talk about it, the more we're able to like heal from it and grow and level up. So join the Deeper Dive Lives every other Wednesday. So the Wednesday after this show, 7 p.m. on Facebook. You can go to the She's Black show page or the She's Black show group. And either way, you can get notifications about that. All right, so our closing affirmation for today, for this week. I am successful and I promote the success of all Black women who are vested in the success of our community. All right, y'all, it's been good. Peace and love.